admittedly has been somewhat boring. I did mention earlier in the week that when the rumors came out about China lifting zero COVID, we did see a move higher, and you can see that very, very briefly down here in the bottom right corner. It moved higher by about 10 to 12%, which is a lot, but relative to the moves we've seen over the last year, it barely even shows up on the radar. So what we're really, I guess how I'd summarize the nickel market, it's interesting because you've really got a tale of two different types of nickels. You've got class 1 nickel, which is refined nickel. It's very high in purity. It is the grade of nickel that goes into the LME exchange warehouse system. That grade of nickel is very lean. It's tight. You can see here in the blue line, you can see the inventory changes. Well, the inventory in the blue line and the inventory changes on a month-over-month basis in the orange lines. Class 1 nickel is tight. There's no doubt about it. And that's one of the reasons why we saw the squeeze that we did earlier in the year. When you look at the right-hand side, though, and I think this is why we've seen a reemergence of this guy, this man they call the nickel tycoon in China. He has come back to the banks after the short squeeze that occurred 6 to 8 months ago. He's gone back to the banks and he said, I want to short more nickel. I want to hedge more nickel, protect my downside risk. The reason I think why he wants to do that is because he's looking at what's on the right-hand side, which is basically showing that there's an ever-growing gap between the price of refined nickel, which is class 1 nickel, and the price of secondary nickel, which would be nickel pig iron, nickel matte, and a lot of these secondary units. There's about a $5,000 per metric ton premium between those two right now, which is about $2.50. So my thought is this, the nickel tycoon, he's likely, because he's mining nickel pig iron and he knows how much he's mining and he knows that market is pretty well supplied. That's why he's wanting to sell or short class 1 nickel. The issue is class 2 nickel, which is nickel pig iron, nickel matte, things like that. That's not what's traded on the LME nickel exchange. So you've got this weird conundrum where what the nickel tycoon is wanting to hedge and the reasons why he's wanting to hedge it almost is irrespective of what actually happens on the London Metal Exchange, because they're really two different products. That being said, it is worth noting that many of these secondary nickels, nickel matte, nickel pig iron, they can be used to make the same things that refined nickel can make. So they can go into stainless steel production. They can go into lithium ion batteries for electric vehicles. So my thought, taking a step back, is on a broad nickel basis, it does look as though the market is fairly well supplied. There still may be some gamesmanship within the class 1 nickel market because inventories are so tight. And there may be even further dialogue around potentially banning Russian material on that exchange. We'll have to see. But with regards to just making stainless, accessing nickel units, it looks like the market is fairly well supplied as we sit here right now. And that's mainly because of the secondary market, not the class 1 market.